What if graduation wasn't the finish line? Imagine you've spent 4 years learning digital forensics. You now know how to image a hard drive. You know how to preserve evidence. You know chain of custody inside and out. Then on your very first day at RCMP practicum arrives, someone places a seized laptop in front of you. Would you know what to do? Today I want to show you the gap in our program and more importantly, how we can solve it. This is a BCIT Digital Evidence Field Operations Program, DEFOP. Here's where we're going today. First, the gap. What's missing for digital forensic students right now. Then, why it matters in the real world. Then I'll introduce DEFOP and show you how it works. After that, the investment and the ask. And I'll finish with one simple recommendation. Picture yourself graduating from BCIT. You learned autopsy, you've learned practice digital imaging, you've studied chain of custody, you've completed every assignment, every lab, every exam. But almost all of that happened inside a classroom. Now you're standing at your first real investigation. Have you ever actually unpacked a forensic field kit? Have you ever connected a write blocker in the real environment? Have you completed chain of custody documentation under pressure? For many students, the answer is no. That's the problem. Today, students receive excellent classroom instructions and scheduled lab experience, but those are controlled lab environments where equipment and instructor support is always available. Employers expect more than classroom experience. They expect graduates who can immediately operate write blockers, forensic imaging devices, properly isolate mobile phones, and document evidence correctly. According to Ramzan, employers increasingly want graduates who are ready to contribute immediately rather than requiring additional workplace training. It's a wall between classroom and the career. The research supports this. Ning and colleagues found that real investigations require practical field skills that require exercises alone simply cannot fully develop. Kumar's research shows that chain of custody mistakes are one of the leading reasons digital evidence gets challenged in court. Berhanu found that shared, hands-on learning environments produce measurable gains in student readiness. And Mashaki explains that AI is already changing digital investigations, making practical experience more valuable than ever. The research points towards one conclusion: students need more opportunities to practice before they graduate. And this is where DEFOP comes in. The BCIT Digital Evidence Field Operations Program would give students access to professional digital evidence field kits through a facility-managed lending program. Instead of only practicing during scheduled labs, students can borrow equipment for approved practicums, capstones, competitions, and independent learning. The program would be funded entirely through the $100,000 Smarty Award. Each kit contains tools professionals use: a hardware wire blocker so the original evidence never gets altered, a Faraday bag so a seized phone can't receive remote wipe signals, a forensic imager for bit-to-bit verified copies, evidence packaging, and a chain of custody forms built right into the kit. The process is simple. Complete the mandatory orientation, get facility approval for the activity, book the kit through the online reservation system, take it into the field, bring it back with all required documentation completed. Five steps, that's all it takes. Who gets first access? Because demand may vary, the program runs on a fair priority system. First, practicum students come first, then capstone teams, then facility research. After that, competitions, and finally, independent skills development. Everyone gets access to this program. Meet Sarah. She's a fourth-year digital forensics student. She completed her DEFOP orientation last week. She booked kit number 3. She starts her RCMP practicum on Monday. Monday morning arrives. Sarah sees laptop on the table. Nobody tells her what to do. Her supervisor openly watches. She opens the kit, connects a wire blocker, begins a forensic image, slides the phone into the Faraday bag, pulls a chain of custody form, and fills it before anyone asks. She doesn't look like a student who's doing it for the first time, and it's not because she learned it that morning. It's because she had already practiced it. That's the confidence that you get with DEFOP. DEFOP prepped. The investment is straightforward: $100,000. 10 digital evidence kits at 80,000, 3,000 covers storage, 2,000 for orientation materials, another 2,000 for checkout system, and 13,000 equipment renewal fund to keep the program current as forensic technology evolves. Months 1 and 2 procure equipment and storage infrastructure. Month 3 assemble kits and apply cure assist labels. Month 4 develop training and materials lending procedures. Month 5 pilot with a select group of students and gather feedback. Month 6 a full launch for every eligible digital forensics and cybersecurity student. The proposal has risk, and here's the plan for them. First, equipment damage, handled through mandatory orientation, pre and post loan inspections, and signed equipment responsibility agreement. Lost equipment, QR coded assist tracking, inventory verification for every loan. High demand, priority based online reservations. 4. Technology aging, the renewal fund covers upgrades. 5th, improper evidence handling. Training is required before anyone borrows anything, and documentation is built into every kit. What this means for BCIT, this isn't just about one student, it's about what BCIT becomes. Graduates who arrive at RCMP, CPSA, and CSIS placements are already field compatible. Second, professional equipment accessible to every eligible student, regardless of their financial situation. 3. Employers gain confidence in BCIT graduates because they require less onboarding. And finally, 10 kits that serve multiple students cohorts for years, long after the initial investment. Over 5 years, DEFOP supports more than 465 plus students. This isn't just a one-time purchase, it's a long-term investment. How will we know it's working? Over 100 students using DEFOP kits every year, 25% or more practical placements supported annually, 15 or more capstone projects, student satisfaction above 90%, and full accountability for every piece of equipment. At the beginning of this presentation, I asked, what if graduation isn't the finish line? I think it isn't. It's a starting line. Our job at BCIT isn't just to help students earn a credential, it's to make sure they're ready when the starting line arrives. And the classroom prepared us. DEFOP makes us ready.